Antarctica, 1946-47. Operation Highjump, the largest Antarctic expedition in history. 4,700 men, 13 ships, 33 aircraft. Led by Admiral Richard Byrd. Official mission, mapping and establishing research bases. But conspiracy theorists claimed something else. They say Admiral Byrd was hunting for a secret Nazi base, a fortress built during World War II, hidden beneath the Antarctic ice. They claim the Nazis fled there in 1945, that they developed advanced technology, flying saucers, anti-gravity craft, weapons beyond imagination. They say the Nazis are still there, underground, waiting. It sounds like science fiction, because it is. But for decades, this myth has persisted. Books, documentaries, websites, each adding new layers to the legend. Flying saucers over Antarctica, secret Nazi bases, Admiral Byrd's lost diary, government cover-ups. None of it is true. But the question is, why do people believe it? How did a ridiculous conspiracy theory gain such traction? This is the story of one of the most persistent myths of World War II, the tale of the frozen Reich.
Every good conspiracy theory needs a grain of truth. The Nazi Antarctica myth has one. Germany really did send an expedition to Antarctica. The German Antarctic Expedition, 1938-39. Yes, the Nazis went to Antarctica. Once, before the war even started. The mission. In late 1938, the research vessel Schwabenland departed Germany for Antarctica. Mission goals: map previously unexplored territory, establish German territorial claims, scout for potential whaling stations, scientific research. The expedition arrived in January 1939. They mapped coastal areas using aerial photography. They planted swastika flags, claimed a region they named New Swabia, Neue Schwabenland. Then they went home. That's it. That's the entire Nazi presence in Antarctica. A few weeks, some mapping, flag planting, scientific observations. No base, no fortress, no secret installations. Why did they go? The reasons were mundane. Territorial claims. European nations were staking claims in Antarctica. Germany wanted a peace. Whaling. Antarctica's waters had abundant whales. Germany needed whale oil for food and industry. Science. Legitimate scientific research. Geographic exploration. National prestige. Exploration enhanced Germany's international standing. Nothing sinister, just a standard polar expedition. What they found: ice, mountains, penguins, and seals. They took photographs, collected samples, made maps. Then World War II began in September 1939. Germany had bigger concerns than Antarctica. The expedition was forgotten, until decades later, when conspiracy theorists discovered it. The myth begins to form. After the war, fringe writers began asking, what if the expedition was a cover? What if they built a secret base? No evidence suggested this, but lack of evidence never stopped a good conspiracy theory. The myth required several additional elements. Over decades, they were added. Element 1. Nazi wonder weapons. Germany did develop advanced weapons late in the war. V-1 and V-2 rockets, jet aircraft, Me-262, advanced submarines. These were real, but conspiracy theorists asked, what else were they working on? Rumors spread of Nazi Wunderwaffe, flying saucers, anti-gravity devices, death rays. Most were complete fabrications, but they fed the myth. Element 2. Nazi scientists escaping justice. After the war, many Nazi scientists did escape. Operation Paperclip brought some to America, others fled to South America. This was true, but conspiracy theorists extended it to, what if some fled to Antarctica? Element 3. Operation Highjump. Here's where Admiral Byrd enters. 1946-47, the U.S. launched Operation Highjump, a massive Antarctic expedition. Official purpose: establish research bases, train personnel in polar conditions, test equipment. But the scale was unusual. Why so many men and ships for research? Conspiracy theorists claimed they were hunting Nazis. None of this was true, but the elements were in place for the myth to flourish.
The Nazi Antarctica myth didn't emerge fully formed. It evolved over decades, with different authors adding layers. The 1950s to 60s, flying saucers. The UFO craze of the 1950s intersected with Nazi mythology. Some UFO enthusiasts claimed, what if flying saucers weren't aliens? What if they were secret Nazi technology? Books began suggesting, Nazis developed disc-shaped aircraft. They tested them late in the war. After defeat, they fled to secret bases. Antarctica was one such base. Evidence? None. But the theory was exciting. The 1970s, the Hollow Earth connection. Things got weirder. Some conspiracy theorists merged the Nazi Antarctica myth with hollow Earth theories, the idea that Earth is hollow with civilizations inside. They claimed, Antarctica has entrances to the hollow Earth. Nazis discovered these entrances. They built bases inside the Earth. Flying saucers emerge from these underground bases. This required ignoring all of geology, physics, and common sense. But internal consistency never troubled conspiracy theorists. The Admiral Byrd Diary. A key document in the mythology, Admiral Byrd's supposed secret diary. According to the myth, during Operation Highjump, Byrd flew over the pole and discovered a warm oasis. He encountered flying saucers and was escorted to a secret Nazi base. There, he met surviving Nazi leaders who warned him about atomic weapons and humanity's future. This diary is quoted extensively in conspiracy literature. Problem? It's completely fake. The diary doesn't match Byrd's writing style, contains factual errors. No authenticated version exists. It was fabricated decades after Byrd's death. But it became evidence for believers. Ernst Zundel's contribution. In the 1970s and 80s, Ernst Zundel, a German-Canadian Holocaust denier, promoted the Nazi Antarctica myth heavily. He published books and newsletters claiming Hitler escaped to Antarctica. Nazi flying saucers are real. The Reich continues underground. Zundel later admitted he promoted these theories to attract attention to his Holocaust denial. He knew they were nonsense, but they served his purpose, making people question established history. This reveals something important. The Nazi Antarctica myth often serves anti-Semitic agendas. The Internet age. The Internet supercharged the myth. Websites, YouTube videos, online forums, each adding new details. Google Earth anomalies showing structures. Declassified documents, usually misinterpreted or fake. Testimony from anonymous whistleblowers. Grainy photos of Nazi UFOs. The myth evolved. New versions emerged. Some claimed Nazis allied with aliens. Others said they discovered ancient technology. Some merged it with Atlantis myths. Each iteration moved further from reality. Modern versions. Today, you can find elaborate videos claiming Nazi bases exist under Antarctic ice. Advanced civilizations live there. Governments know but hide the truth. Antarctica is restricted to hide evidence. None of this is true, but the myth persists. Extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. The Nazi Antarctica myth has none. Why it's impossible? Logistics. Building a secret base in Antarctica in the 1940s would require massive resources, thousands of workers, millions of tons of supplies, ongoing supply lines, years of construction. Germany in 1944-45 was being bombed daily, running out of fuel and resources, fighting on multiple fronts, collapsing economically. Diverting resources to build an Antarctic base? Impossible. Transportation. Getting to Antarctica required long-range ships. Germany's were sunk or surrendering. Fuel. Germany had critical shortages. Navigation through Allied-controlled waters. After May 1945, Germany had no operational navy. Survival. Antarctica in the 1940s was nearly impossible to survive. Temperatures to -80 degrees Fahrenheit, no infrastructure, no food sources, extreme isolation. Modern Antarctic bases require constant resupply. A 1940s secret base without detection? For decades? Not plausible. Why it's impossible? Technology. Nazi flying saucers. Germany experimented with unconventional aircraft designs, but none achieved functional flight. All were abandoned as impractical. No evidence of anti-gravity technology. No working prototypes existed. The Nazi UFO photos are misidentified aircraft or outright fakes. Advanced technology. Yes, Germany had advanced rocketry, the V-2, but nothing close to anti-gravity existed. No physics principles support those claims. All major scientists were accounted for post-war. Operation Highjump. The truth. Why was the expedition so large? Actual reasons? Training. U.S. wanted polar operation experience for possible Arctic conflicts. Testing equipment. Cold weather gear and vehicles needed testing. Establishing bases. Multiple research stations required personnel. Mapping. Aerial photography needed support infrastructure. What really happened? They established research bases, conducted mapping missions, lost aircraft to weather, several crashes, completed mission early due to bad weather, published findings openly. No Nazi encounters, no flying saucers, no secret battles, just difficult polar research. Admiral Byrd's real statements. Byrd never mentioned Nazis, UFOs, or secret bases. His official reports discuss geographic discoveries, weather challenges, scientific observations, equipment performance. The secret diary is fabrication. The evidence that doesn't exist. If Nazis built Antarctic bases, we'd expect supply ship records. None exist. Survivor testimony. None credible. Physical evidence. None found. Radio communications. Never detected. Post-war Nazi presence. Never appeared. Instead, nothing. Modern Antarctica. Today, Antarctica has permanent research stations, regular flights, tourist visits, satellite surveillance, international cooperation. If secret Nazi bases existed, they'd have been found. Why people believe it? Despite zero evidence, the myth persists. Why? Psychological factors. Pattern seeking, humans see patterns even in randomness, distrust of authority, skepticism of official narratives, a desire for mystery. Mundane truth is less exciting than conspiracy. Confirmation bias, seeking evidence that supports existing beliefs. Community. Conspiracy theories create in-groups. The internet effect. Online algorithms promote sensational content. A search for Antarctica might recommend secret Nazi base found. Information spreads faster than correction. Silly conspiracy theory, right? Who cares if some people believe in Nazi UFO bases? Actually, it matters. Gateway to extremism. The Nazi Antarctica myth often serves as a gateway to darker ideologies. Many who promote it also deny the Holocaust, promote anti-Semitic conspiracy theories, suggest hidden forces control the world, rehabilitate Nazi ideology. Ernst Zundel's strategy worked. Use exciting myths to draw people toward Holocaust denial. Distrust of truth. Conspiracy theories erode trust in factual information. If someone believes Nazis are in Antarctica, they've rejected expert consensus. They distrust historical evidence. They're primed to believe other conspiracies. They're vulnerable to manipulation. Real history obscured. Focus on fake Nazi UFOs obscures real history. Real Nazi crimes, the actual horrors, Holocaust, war crimes, millions dead, get minimized. Real Nazi science. Legitimate, though often unethical, research gets mixed with fantasy. Real post-war issues, actual Nazi escapes, Eichmann, Mengele, and Operation Paperclip get lost in UFO noise. Media literacy. The myth demonstrates why critical thinking matters. Red flags in conspiracy theories. Lack of credible evidence. Reliance on secret documents. Claims of massive cover-ups. Unfalsifiable assertions can't be disproven. Appeals to do your own research. Evaluating sources. Who's making the claim? What's their expertise? What evidence do they provide? Does it align with known facts? Is it peer-reviewed or verified? The danger of just asking questions. Conspiracy theorists often say, "I'm just asking questions." But asking questions in bad faith, questions designed to mislead, isn't honest inquiry. Real questions are answered by evidence. Conspiracy questions ignore evidence.
So, what's the verdict on the frozen Reich? It doesn't exist. It never existed. It never could have existed. The reality, Nazis sent one expedition to Antarctica in 1938-39. They mapped territory and left. No bases were built, no UFOs were developed, no Nazis fled there in 1945. Operation Highjump was routine polar research. The fiction is everything else. Every claim of secret bases, flying saucers, and hidden Nazis. Pure fabrication. Why persist? Humans love mysteries. We love thinking we know secrets others don't. The idea of Nazis surviving in a hidden base is dramatically satisfying. Far more interesting than they lost the war, most leaders committed suicide or were captured, some scientists were recruited by both sides, others escaped to South America. Truth is messier and less exciting than myth. The lesson? The Nazi Antarctica myth teaches us about how misinformation spreads. Grain of truth. The 1938 expedition provides false legitimacy. Elaborate narrative. Each author adds details, making it seem more real. Unfalsifiable claims. It's hidden means absence of evidence becomes evidence. Community reinforcement. Believers support each other, dismiss skeptics. Media amplification. Sensational claims get more attention than boring truth. What we should remember? The real Nazi legacy isn't flying saucers in Antarctica. It's 6 million Jews murdered in the Holocaust, 50 million people dead in World War II, countless lives destroyed by totalitarian ideology. The lesson that evil doesn't require fantasy. It happens in ordinary ways. Antarctica today. Real Antarctica is fascinating without Nazis. Extreme environment challenging human survival, unique ecosystem and wildlife, important climate research, international scientific cooperation, one of Earth's last wildernesses. That's worth appreciating. Critical thinking. Next time you see a sensational claim,
Nazi bases, alien encounters, government conspiracies. Ask, what's the evidence? Who benefits from this claim? Does it align with known facts? Am I believing because it's true or because I want it to be true? The frozen Reich exists only in the imagination. Antarctica is frozen, the Reich is dead. And that's the truth.